What is the first thing you think of when you think of Dungeons and Dragons?
Black trench coats. That's the first thing.
What do you mean by black trench coat?
I think there's a certain type of person that wears a black trench coat, like, and all black clothes, and maybe they've got like those fingerless gloves, and maybe they're scrawny and don't talk to many people and they think everything's stupid because they know everything. Because they do know everything because they're really smart, but that makes them unapproachable and scary. Black trench coat. So I have been told that it's a lot of rolling dice. I bought my first set of dice.
Yeah.
And they're really pretty. They're blue, which I like. I know that you roll dice to get points. Not points. It's not a point game, but it is a point game. I'm going to learn more soon.
Do you have a character yet? Yeah.
I do!
Okay.
Oh my god, are you ready to hear her name?
Yeah.
It's Devi, and it's a D''V''I. It went from D-E-V-I to I took out the E.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. And she is a half-elf druid. We're playing in a land called Lilthgrond, which is a sprawling metropolis. That's what our Dungeon Master likes to play. Also, Dungeon Master makes me feel like Matt is some sort of sex man. Just saying.
So, how do you feel about this coming up? You feel nervous, excited?
I feel excited. I'm really excited because I guess from what I've heard from other people, like some people play D&D and they're really like just dice and nerd like science mechanics of the game, and then but the people that I'm playing with, they're the kind of the opposite side where it's much more like role play character, like you're really being the person, and that seems super fun and super great. But I don't know what to expect other than I know my character, Devi, and there's gods that I learned. I know some of them, one in particular. Yes. I rolled my character sheet, so I know what I'm good at, and I know some of the like attack things, but I don't know other than like it's like okay, I know those things, and then we're gonna show up at my house and we're gonna make a game. Yay! I don't know what's gonna happen.
Is there anything else you want to say?
That I'm excited and like a little bit nervous that I'll like it a lot. A whole lot. And then I'll wear a black trench coat.
How was your first Dungeons and Dragons session?
So fun. It was more fun than I thought it would be. And I thought it would be fun. That's how much fun I thought it was. Matt, our dungeon master, he still sounds like a sex thing. He asked us questions about our characters, and I shared 3 things that scare my character and 1 thing that that's a secret, and the dungeon master started the session, or like my character's part in the session, bringing up all of those things, and it was just so amazing to have, I don't know, it was like, oh my god, I'm in a story, and I wrote part of it, and I got excited, and I'm talking this loud. Yep, that was part of the reason why.
What was your character's name?
Devi.
Who was she?
Is she? She's a druid. She has a companion animal, I think they're called, which I can also make fight for me. He's a badger. His name is Tooth, and I love him. And because his name is Tooth, which I made up on the spot. Matt was like, "What's your badger's name?" And I said, Tooth. Her alignment is chaotic neutral. So some of the things she did was there was like a turmoil, and Devi was like, best course of action, wrap everyone around me in vines, which doesn't do anything to help or hurt other than make things more crazy. And I had the best time with it. I didn't realize, I should have realized, but I didn't assume or guess that I would have so much fun being this character. I met Toby and Casey for the first time at lunch right before we played, like a couple of days before. They asked me about her, and I said that she is a lot like Daria, and that was really fun to play. It's weird to talk about, like, I have another alter ego, like, yeah, this other person I become when I play this game is called Devi, and she's just like Daria. But it's true. Like, I have this whole other personality now. I think the most important thing I learned was to be involved and have fun with it. There were scenes, for lack of a better word, that Devi wasn't involved in, and I became NPCs, which stands for non-playing characters. At one point I was asked, Kate, give us your best bugbear dying scream, and which I got to do that, and it was the best. So I think what I think is the most fun is just play with it. Like, you can do whatever you want. How fun is that? The most fun. I thought it'd be really nerdy, like all the dice and the numbers and the math and how much are you carrying and how many penalties are that, and I thought there'd be a lot of, we've moved 5 spaces today, and we've moved 5 spaces today. Like, I thought we were going to trek across a map and do a lot of math about trekking across a map, which sounds awful, because I bet it would be. We did hardly any of that. All the map trekking wasn't trekking, it was with regards to battle, which was interesting. I didn't realize how complex and intricate battle was. I thought it was much like Pokemon, where either you have more points or you don't, and it was really interesting that I got to choose my attacks. I didn't realize how fun that would be. And roll to see, like, that's actually really fun to be like, who knows? Look how nerdy I sound. I can roll a 20-sided die for how many points I'm inflicting.
The game was, like, pretty even male-female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually more girls than boys. There's 3 playing girls and 2 playing boys and 1 boy dungeon master.
Do you think that helped you play?
Yes. I think, and also the people too, you know, but that said, one of the girls there, her character is really curvy, and I don't know if the girl playing that character made that choice, but that's really fun to play with, and but I do think it was a bit more fun to have other girls there to play with.
Think you'll buy more dice?
Probably not yet. Some people buy dice per character, but you know, like if I end up at like a conference and I see dice that make me happy, there's a chance I would just buy them. But I would not just go to the store just to find dice because I was bored. Better ways to spend money right now. And I'm curious to get better at battle, because druids can summon other animals, and then I get to play everything I have on my turn, which means I have to roll faster. I am so surprised by how much fun I had. I am so surprised. And it's fun complexity instead of weird complexity. It was way more fun than I thought it would be. And that keeps blowing my mind.
Do you still associate D&D with black trench coats?
I'm such a jerk. No, I don't. I've learned there's a huge range. There's a huge range of people who play this game. And I think my perception was of like just maybe a small little quadrant of people, perhaps not everyone, who are who just in general have bad social skills. If you're into D&D, you're like the funnest person. I'm like, oh, new There's different platforms. Did you know there's different platforms? There's different platforms. I didn't even know that. I'm a dork.
Do you think of a dungeon master as some sort of sex man? Your quote
I'm
anymore.
such a dick. I'm so gross. No, I don't. No, I don't. If somebody says DM to me, I'm like, oh, really? And I'm so nerdy. I'll be like, do you play 3.5? Like, I even say 3.5. I don't even say Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. I just say 3.5. I'm so nerdy. And I love it.
I asked you if you would buy more dice. And you said you'd probably not seek out to buy dice, but if you were at a conference or something, you'd probably buy some.
You went to a conference and I asked you to buy me dice. That was still true. Since the last time we've talked, yeah, I've bought 2 new sets of dice because I started another campaign on a different platform and playing a Savage Worlds game now as well with a prostitute that I love. Her name's Shaun and she is the best. But she died. Tragedy, right? Oh. And so then I'm playing another character who needed his own set of dice because he couldn't use her dice because they're like the soul of your character is in their dice. I'm so nerdy. So different.
The adventure you started, you had a character of Devi.
I did.
And you had a badger named Tooth.
I did have a badger named Tooth.
And what happened to them?
Tooth died. And I cried when Tooth died. We were fighting, oh my god, we were fighting these like pieced together zombie things and they had all their zombies strapped to their back and I couldn't, Devi couldn't, whatever, couldn't see Tooth and they would explode when they died. Note to people who play whatever monsters this is. Tooth got knocked out and then between him getting stepped on and then 2 different things exploding, that was 3 hits and like or fails or whatever it was. It was a very emotional time for me, so I wasn't really paying attention to the rules. I was just glaring at everyone who would say, "Don't fail," and then I would roll and fail. So he died. And that was really tough. Really tough. Devi took that pretty badly, and then had and then I've been writing journals in between this. I wrote journals in every session. And her next journal was about getting her new animal companion, which is a wolverine named Astra. And I took that name from, I think it's Hinduism, and it might be called an Astra, but those are gifts from the gods to people, to their people, to help them fight. So they're like superpowered weapons. And I was like, how appropriate. So yeah, I super geeked out about her name and about the reason why she showed up, because like the Wolverines wouldn't really be in this forest, and Devi, my character, has always been an outcast, so that was where that happened. So, and Devi is still being a Daria dick. Devi is bossy and brash, sexually, she's not sexually repressed is okay. She doesn't chastise herself for her thoughts, but she's also like, she has she's like a 13-year-old boy, the same way they're like, oh girl, pretty. So is she. Like, when she talks to the pretty girl in the campaign, she sort of just stutters. She spent 1,700 gold pieces on an orb for the hot girl in the group and gave it to her without a word because she doesn't know how to talk to girls. It's wonderful.
Last time you said like, as far as playing, it's like you were mostly messing around with people in character.
And I still think it's the same thing. That's actually my favorite. I've learned a lot because like we're on 2 different gaming platforms. So that's my favorite part of it. It is like playing pretend when you're a kid and you're like, we're going to go beat up the... When you're kids, you play, I don't know. I played Indian a lot because I wanted to be a Native American when I was a little kid. So I'd be like, we're going to go and be tree spirits. And we would run around and like give ourselves spirit animal names and transform into our spirit animals. And that just feels like what I'm doing as an adult. So it is still, I do still think it's that, just probably in a more positive light.
Say stuff about Dungeons and Dragons and
or
make a statement about it.
Or tabletop RPGs.
Yeah. As
they are officially known as.
Yeah.
Which are what I am an enthusiast of.
Yes.
That they're wonderful and I enjoy them. And I'm a jerk for judging them, ever, because I love this thing so much and it took me until I was fucking 26 to give it a chance. they're just fun. I like them a lot. A whole lot. They're wonderful. It's exciting to be part of a story. It's really wonderful to have a fantastic game master. It's a really fucking great way to spend a Saturday with friends. I just really like it a whole lot. I do. I can't believe it is just it's turned my nerd up to an 11. Of course, nerds who have it up to 11 already are like, girl, you're at a 6. But for me, it went from like that. It was a lot. So I'm happy that I found it and that I'm like, this stuff makes me happy.